This is a station for reparation. This is a station for reparation. This is a station for reparation.
Can you talk a little bit about your embodied practice, your practice as a mover? And I'm holding on to what you were saying about that a big part of the 9 cycle, this last 9 cycle period was like you finding burlesque, and burlesque being an entry point into this reclamation of your body as this divine, unlimited vessel. And so I'm thinking, I'd love to hear more about like just the practice of embodiment. How did that get you to rest? How did those things influence each other? And then I have a quote from the rest event that Assata's house did a couple weeks ago now. What was that? Beginning of March or end of February?
End of
February. And one of the facilitators, the acupuncturist Eloise Prescott, a quote that she said while she was just sort of setting up or just giving us more information about her practice. She said a big reason why she went into learning these somatic practices like acupuncture. She received a few acupuncture sessions in response to a type of way her body was feeling. And I remember her saying she was like, "This feels so good. Is this legal?" I was like, yo, this feels so good. Is this legal? When she said that, I was just like, exactly. Like acupuncture and these other sort of somatic body medicinal practices, like it's not just about like relaxation, it's so much about pleasure. So much about pleasure. And so I was like, yeah, of course this is coming up at Assata's house at a rest event. Of course pleasure is coming up when we have a chance to rest. So I'm curious about your movement practice and how that relates to Assata's house, and sort of some of the intentions that went into Assata's house.
So I actually found burlesque in 2023, like right after undergrad.
Oh, bad.
And
nice.
So, not 2013.
2013. So
I'm over here like forgetting how old I am. And that was very important for me. That was very important for me at that time because I had not seen myself in that way ever. And so I actually was a professional burlesque dancer.
Let's fucking go.
First time ever wearing pasties. And all the things while literally organizing with like the Children's Defense Fund.
Yes.
And like,
yes.
you know, freedom schools and having this level of duality.
Yeah.
At that time was just like, you know, I'm grounded on all black people, I'm about the children, and I'm also doing this other work where I did not allow those worlds to touch because I was still working through just shame. You know, I was still working through shame. And even after it, I had to have some years to reflect on how that experience was transforming me.
Yeah. Because
it felt so like insulated, where I would literally be this bombshell on stage, and I would leave and put on my Letterman jacket and my fitted hat and just be like very inconspicuous afterwards, you know?
Yeah.
And so I came back to burlesque while in grad school, while doing ritual movement.
Interesting. Okay. I see.
And our Burlesque Collective consisted of educators, herbalists, DJs, dancers, and fitness instructors. And it felt very healing to find like this group of people that you knew loved you, who held space for your experience of what you have gone through before that experience, but also what you were currently going through at that time.
Yeah.
And we called ourselves DRIP, Divine Ritual Interfacing Patriarchy.
Oh! First of all, that you ate. Y'all ate with that.
And
Y'all
so it felt very important to do that within this sisterhood. You know? And it was so healing, and to kind of be like the catalyst for that. In a way, I was holding that space for others, and that stayed with me. Just like, wow, burlesque was so transformative, and I was also able to share it with people I care about. So now I'm in Philadelphia, and I am wanting to be an artist, but also realizing here, I felt like I was more pushed to become an educator here and a facilitator here. I have performed out here, but it felt like my bigger impact that I was making was within the spaces I was creating. So initially, I was doing sensual flow, and this is right after getting my yoga certification. And what sensual flow was bringing together the burlesque, the sensual dance, but also some of the skills I learned related to meditation, mindfulness, and putting those together. And I would just notice the feels. Like the space would get thick sometimes, you know, with energy. And how some people would say, like, wow, it's been a while since I felt like that, or I haven't intentionally just sat and touched myself, you know, that long, or I've been going through this in my life, and so to be able to concentrate my body in this way, you know, I'm crying a lot right now, but I'm also really thankful that I was able to just access what my body had been holding. And so being, you know, always kind of being in the process of learning myself, I've just learned more about what embodiment is and how sensual flow could ultimately evolve into an embodiment practice. Mm-hmm. So what I say my practice is at this time is embodied sensuality. And, you know, taking into account the experiences like the people I used to support while being a rape crisis counselor. Taking into account the things that I was learning about mothers, caretakers, you know, all the things that they were doing for other people and forgetting to take care of themselves. And also just the opportunity for pleasure that was created in the spaces, you know. The thing that I love to remind people of within my spaces is this is a selfish space. You can't be selfish anywhere else, be selfish here. If I say something that don't make sense to you, just be like, whatever, Raylá. I like this step, I'm keep doing this one. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4 don't work for me, but I'm gonna do it this way. And almost like treating it as this like experimentation place, this play space, this space for you to expand as you need to, this space for you to slow down as you might need to, and lean into what your body is like always waiting to tell you, but because you haven't really taken the time to do so because of life, the world, capitalism, that this is a space for you to do just that. And so it is natural that some of that thinking was going to become a part of the ethos of Assata's house. Like even we have our meetings and stuff like that and our events, we want to be all about the woo-woo. And when I say that, it's like, yes, we're coming to do a thing, right? We have a plan, that we're going to do this thing, but how it needs to be done, we're going to acknowledge that. And when we do that collectively, I feel like we create space for magic, for co-creation,
Yes.
but also deeper connection.
Yeah.
So that's how I do feel like my embodiment practice has informed Assata's house.
I love that.
This is a station for reparation. This is a station for reparation.